It's a crossover film starring Nargis Fakhri, Rajkumar Rao, and a couple of very other talented people. I just saw the article and I just sent her out an email. So many times I have seen makeup artists crying in front of clients for money. Ma'am, सारा काम कर दिया, अब तो payment कर दो.
How you were the only makeup artist from Chandigarh who's done a Hollywood project. People ask for free trials also. Do you think that's fair?
No, absolutely not. 70% of women are using expired products.
I saw this video. There was this artist. She was doing a bridal makeup.
Yeah.
And she had this.
Yes.
This long nails.
Imagine the fungus and the bacteria. I said, sir, this last 10% or ma'am, this last 20% that you're asking me to haggle is for my motivation is to come to your venue and do a good job. Now you want to haggle on that motivation for me to create a good look? Go right ahead.
So without wasting any more time, let's welcome Tanvi ma'am to Mike Vimalekar.
Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of Mike Vimalekar. I'm your host Tamanna. Guys, from a 15-year-old girl who was pushed into grooming classes only because her mom thought that she was a bit tomboyish, to becoming a luxury makeup artist that is being trusted by celebrities and modern brides today, our today's guest is going to be somebody who just portrays not only skills, but also huge standards in her industry. With almost 2 decades in the industry and having an exposure of Bollywood set and being an experienced artist where she's worked with top-notch people, she has seen the evolution of beauty from how it was perceived as purely artist-based skill to now being how it is being influenced by digital era massively. So beyond filters, followings, and fleeting trends, she stands bold beyond just what we are seeing today on the internet. Her skill speaks with expression, experience, and art that she has carried over 23 years from her own hard work. And now beyond artistry, she's also stepping into innovation which could completely change this industry and how the products today look and are perceived by the experts in this field. And that's why आज का conversation सिर्फ makeup artistry या इस पूरे skill based industry से limited नहीं होगा. It's going to be about her personal journey. It's going to be about innovations. It's about how this industry has evolved. It's about how she has perceived this industry from her own eyes and how and what differentiates a professional into somebody who claims themselves to just be an artist in the field. So without wasting any more time, let's welcome Tanvi ma'am to Mike Vimalekar. Thank you so much, ma'am, for choosing this platform and coming to Mike Vimalekar.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
So, ma'am, starting off, when we discussed before and we did the research, we realized that you started off basically at the age of 15.
Yes.
And the reason being that your mom saw a tomboy in you.
Yes. No, the entire world saw the tomboy in me. If you're wearing your brother's stolen t-shirts, it's concerning.
So, in a way, she did show you the direction.
Yes.
So was it more of that how you were redirected towards this direction, or that you found yourself to be perfectly in place when you hopped into this industry?
When I initially started going for my grooming classes, I felt completely out of place. I used to howl away. The only section of that grooming section, the class that I liked was the makeup class.
Okay.
That was the only time I would sit in the front row and just completely gaze at what the teacher was teaching us.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I found my calling at
Okay.
that point of time.
So, when you were so young, right, did you resonate with the kind of things that you hopped into at that age?
No. For me, colors were always something very fascinated. Up till my 3rd year of college, I used to carry coloring books and crayons so that if I am sitting in the car, I should be able to color and I do crayons, and everybody used to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think it was the colors that really interested me. So no, I did not resonate at an earlier age.
Yeah.
It was mainly just fascination with colors and the placement of colors and the overall aesthetic.
So do you think when you say that you used to color at that age, when obviously mostly people don't, do you think that was a kind of sign, or maybe that you were born with that sort of taste and skills? Do you say that, or is it more about starting at an early age and do whatever you want to do?
For me, coloring was an escape.
Oh.
So I liked how I would just keep on doing the strokes, matching the lines, matching the colors. So at that point of time in your teenage world, in the early adulthood, I think it was probably an escape from the other reality of being a tomboy and having PCOD. So it was a bit of an escape.
Hmm.
But I did not think at that point of time that
Didn't.
this is where it would lead me.
But as we said, we are just, talking about that you starting at the age of 15. I would like to double tap on that and understand. Do you believe reaching at whatever field or reaching at whatever level that you're creating today, does starting off early do give you an edge in whatever field you are?
Starting off early gives you a little more practice in terms
Mm.
of the number of hours that you've put in.
Yeah.
But no, it is not a guarantee for success. Starting off early and then breaking off for the next 5 years is so number of years doesn't really count. It's the amount of commitment that you've given to it
Yeah.
that helps. With me, starting off early was just a way of finding my passion earlier on.
Mm.
And yeah,
That's
really it. Yeah.
So do you think that it doesn't matter that you started off early, or it matters about how well practiced you are with your skill? That's what you mean here?
Yes, if you are in your 20s
Hmm.
and you're practicing 10 hours a day,
Yeah.
you would probably be at the same par with a 15-year-old who started maybe 5 years before you and was able to not give it time in the middle because of her studies.
Hmm.
So it really has, little connection with starting off early. For me, it was just,
Hmm.
practicing too much. I got so involved in practicing. So that was where the fun part was. But I wouldn't say that because I started off early, I am where I am today. There's so many other people who started off way later
Yeah.
and are way further than I am today in terms of industry success. So yeah, it has little to do with it.
Other than that, I mean, when I went through here and there a bit of your articles, and I saw that you started practicing on your friends and
Yeah.
family back then. But today, in a digital era, I think somebody who wants to get into this industry, they are more inclined towards creating their follower base on social media rather than practicing it raw,
Yes.
right? So, what do you
Yes.
think about that narrative?
That time when I used to practice on my friends, my god, poor things, sorry guys. So when I used to practice on my cousins and my friends and my relatives, that was because that slight obsession or passion was beginning.
Mm.
And in today's time, people are more focused on develop lesser skill but show it off a little more.
Yeah.
It's a little concerning because you've not gone through the passage of understanding different skin types, different textures. Not every product works on the same person. So
Not
that
everything
needs
is
to be.
about brand collabs.
Yes, it is not. And yes, it is important. Social media is important at this point of time, but getting your basics correct and justifying your title as a makeup artist or an educator or a makeup expert, you need to sort of justify what you're calling yourself. And that requires a lot of practice, different skin types. What today we are doing is practicing on beautiful models. You pay a gorgeous looking model with the most glass skin ever, and then show her on at the social media platforms. But then that's not real skin. That's hardly ever do you get a beautifully glossy skin to work with.
100%.
My first bride was a late 30s bride with pigmentation all over her face, dark circles. And that's the real
That's the
person. And
reality
that's
check.
where you need the practice. So put in more hours of work. For social media, you can always hire somebody to do that job for you.
Right,
Right.
100%. What was the first time when you kind of did made somebody your lab rat?
That would have to be my best friend at school.
Okay.
So both of us were very obsessed with how we would look at our farewell.
Okay. Yeah.
And by the
typically.
time I was in grade 12, I was already, I had the diploma, I had the certification of being a beauty expert and a makeup artist. So every time, we would go for our tuitions, then come back and then devote 2 hours of just trying to do different makeups. So yes,
Okay.
my first lab rat was my school friend Simran.
Yeah.
And the beautiful part was that after many, many years, I got to do her bridal makeup. I got to do a reception makeup.
Wow.
And I had not met her in 6 years. So she could easily see me what I'm up to on Facebook, because she was abroad. But she did not blink even for once before calling me and says, Sun, शादी पे makeup कर दे. And I was like, dude, please go on Facebook and check whether, my work sort of is okay with you. She's like, are you mad? I've always been your muse and there's no
How
questions
sweet.
asked. So that was beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, I love, in fact, I can see this right now, the kind of energy you carry, and that reflects in your work 100%. Apart from just your professional skills, I believe that you're an amazing human being also.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's more of a compliment than anything else.
How nice. Apart from that, ma'am, I would like to know what was that time जब आपको पता लगा जिस दिन that this is exactly I want to do for the rest of my life. कि ये
Yeah.
पता लग गया कि even if I was just here because my mom kind of redirected me towards it,
Yeah.
but what was that moment when you knew this is the rest of my life?
That moment was in October 2011.
Oh.
I was at home taking care of my elder daughter. She's now 16. So 2011, she was a year old. And in July 2021, I started a Facebook page by calling iStyle Tips,
Okay.
where I would post a makeup and beauty related tip every day on Facebook. And this
Yeah.
was on insistence of a couple of friends that you know so much. Why don't you do this sitting at home? I did that. Up till then, I dabbled in training HR students, teaching interview skills, body language, any kind of personality development portfolio. I used to teach aviation students about makeup, hospitality, etc.
Wow.
So up till then, I would still say I'd not thought that this is what I want to do. But when I sat at home and somewhere in October, I realized that, the only thing that gives me a genuine smile on my face and the only thing that will make me wake up at 3 a.m. is this. I just love making people pretty.
Wow.
I just love it.
And where did this exactly come from? Did you see this in your mother, or was it exactly where you were being, in a way guided at the academy or kind of course that you used to do?
No.
Where was it exactly?
It was just when I was sitting at home and I was probably in one of those introspective modes that what is it that gives me joy?
Huh.
And when I realized that, it's that smile. Once I get a bride ready and she gives me that sign and the smile of approval, I think that's something is a bit of an high that I would like to go back to it again and again.
Wow.
And that's when I decided I want to start freelancing in Chandigarh. And so that was the moment when I said, you know what, this is what I'm meant to do. I love it. I can't stop thinking about it. So that's where it is.
So also other than that, as you talked about your work, क्या इस फील्ड में आज अपने वर्क की एक डिफरेंट आइडेंटिटी बनाना, बिकॉज आई अंडरस्टैंड द इमिटेशन पार्ट, द प्रैक्टिसिंग पार्ट, बट क्रिएटिंग योर ओन आइडेंटिटी, especially in your skill, is it very important?
See, creating your own identity or your style is important in a way for clients to understand what kind of makeup artist do I go for.
Okay.
There are a lot of makeup artists who have a very signature style. So certain people like those and it helps you identify. It's almost like when you see a purple wrapper, you know it's a Cadbury chocolate.
Yeah.
When you see a red one, you know it's a Kit Kat. So when you see a personal makeup style, let's say if you look at Rani Mukherjee or Karishma in those later 90s, you know it's Mickey Contractor. So having a personal style is important, and more important is for you to also be versatile and listen to what your client asks of you. As an artist, I can't just have one particular style. An artist art means versatility.
Diversity.
Yes, diversity, versatility, because, we think from our hearts, we don't think from our head. Our heart is not always in one direction. So, yes, it is important to maintain a personal style, but at the same time be versatile enough to deliver what the client or the set or the photo shoot is expecting of you.
Again, going a little back to your personal side, I mean, what was your parents' reaction when they realized that this is pretty much the thing that you, want to carry forward to your future also? Because at 15, people do navigate through their academics and everything, and you were very clear about things, I believe, especially until you were about to graduate also.
Yes.
So what was their reaction?
When I was 15, all the way up till my college days, I would say even I was not very clear that this is exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
I was good at it. I enjoyed it, but I didn't think I'll make a career of it. So we had different career options growing up. But then that decisive moment, as I said, was in 2011. I was married. I had a kid. So that's when I told my parents, my father passed away long before that. So when I told my mother that this is what I want to do, she was neutral. Of of course, she's the one who pushed me in that direction. So she was fairly neutral as to what freelancing is. How are you going to go to people's houses and do makeup? I mean, how is this going to all happen? And so she did have her concerns that how are you going to manage family and how are you going to manage your child and what is this freelancing? So it was in 2012 when an article about me came up. Ab ghar chal ke aayega makeup.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that concept was so new and novel at that time. It was totally unheard of कि अच्छा आपके पास अपनी चेयर है, आप अपनी लाइट लेके आते हो. So these are the kind of questions I used to get, and my mother was also one of those. How is this going to work?
Were you inspired by somebody, or was this truly and completely you?
It was just totally me. I wish I had an inspiration, because then you at least know there's a way to go through. But I've navigated my own path, and I came to Delhi. I purchased a kit. Badi mushkil jaake in some market, a little shop is where I found my first Samsonite, which could carry makeup, and the suitcase with the lights on it.
Okay.
I still have those.
Okay.
So those were things that were not available at that point of time. So we got those, and that's how I started. So yes, they did have their reservations, but I mean, my mom-in-law was super thrilled. She's like, "You are very talented. Go ahead, conquer the world." So
well,
that's
I would
how
say
it
you
started.
were very lucky indeed that
Yes.
you've got such people around you.
Absolutely. The most important thing is, the more you are grateful for the things you have in your life, the more God gives you things to be grateful for.
And it reflects on your face and your work.
Thank you.
Apart from that, I would also like to know a little bit about the kind of, hustling that you did. Because when we see or when we get to know, somebody is just in this industry, it feels like it's very glamorized. It's so much fun. They're working with celebrities, or be it at events, eating good food, wearing good clothes, talking to good people. So do you think this is pretty much about this industry?
Oh,
That's
I
the one.
wish there was even 1/10 of what you said is true.
Okay.
So, meeting glamorous celebrities, usually they are tired and they're listening to their music. By the end of it, you get one picture you want with them, and that's the end of it. So there goes meeting celebrities, eating good food. The buffet is laid out. But when do you eat? You can't eat before, because your work starts much before.
Yeah.
Right? You can't eat after, because you're following the particular celebrity on the set. So the food literally is in a napkin, grab some things and just, put it all in. Zero nutrition, just running on caffeine. We wake up and we start work way before anybody else on the set does. Right? And even in a bride's case, I am the first one to reach the venue, because if I'm not there, she's not getting ready. The photographer comes later. The outfit steam ironing department also comes later. The jewelry comes so much later. So if I have a bride, an Anand Karaj bride at 5, I have to wake up at 2. And Anand Karaj usually happens on a Sunday.
Yes.
So all Saturday nights in the season are for sleeping early,
Oh God.
eating a light meal.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So what shows on videos and reels is just a very glamorized part of it. There's zero truth to it, honestly. And we have to be in our running shoes. There's no heels. There's no uncomfortable clothing. So you can't do fashion because you have to work. That's your workplace.
Yeah. Wow. And how do you balance your personal life and your work life when things are so, heavy for you professionally?
During season, it's very difficult, but without family support, nothing is possible. Without prior planning, nothing is possible. So if you know that you have an early morning work and you have an evening work, you need to take out that 1 hour to be with your child, making sure any of her assignments or her food or anything else is completely taken care of. Time management is absolute key, not with just makeup artists, with everybody, every working woman especially, who has so many areas to take care of. Time management is key. So I plan way ahead. I know exactly what's going to cook in my kitchen 3 days from now. I know exactly where my daughter is going to be at 4 p.m. on the Friday evening.
Wow.
So it is taxing to keep count of all of that. But, it's like a well-oiled machine. If one thing goes off, then it's a domino effect. So we need to be on our toes.
Yeah, but yet again, ma'am, I think this industry is so saturated these days that, because you've reached a certain level, right?
Yeah.
And seeing you here, I know you're a self-made woman. You worked really hard to be where you are right now.
Yeah.
But yet again, I believe people tend to say and believe that there are a lot of hurdles, not so many opportunities out there. It's
Yeah.
very monotonous for them, apparently.
Yeah.
So, do you agree to that?
In the last 5, 6 years, maybe 7 or 8 odd years, we have seen so many makeup artists mushroom. And because of the false misconception or the misconception that it's a very easy career. I choose to work, then I can become a makeup artist. It's very easy. So because of this misconception that this is easy money has led many people to come into this particular line, which is fine. Everybody's welcome. I just feel that there is so much work to do.
Mm.
You know, people say competition hai, but then, kahan nahi hai.
Kahan nahi?
And
True that.
that's where your real talent should show,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? So that's mainly it. There is a lot of saturation at this point of time, and clients have a lot of choice, which is fantastic for them. But choosing the right person for your project, that's a challenge that they should also take it up seriously. Just because somebody is offering 1,000 rupee less, you shouldn't go for it. Research, do your research, understand what is it that you require.
Mm.
So that's where I think.
Have you ever allowed somebody to do your makeup, though? I'm very curious about this.
No.
No.
I did my own bridal
expected this.
makeup.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So my assistants did my hair. I did my bridal makeup. I did all my makeups. In fact,
Ah.
before I got ready to do my bridal entry, I got all my relatives ready. So I was in my bridal
Typical
lehenga.
Indian situation.
हमें तो तैयार कर दो, हमें तो बारात में जाना है, तुम्हें तो बाद में आना है.
हमने पूछा नहीं किसके में जाना है.
But they said they had to welcome the barat, so
Oh,
that made
yeah.
sense. My entry is later. So I did my cousin's makeup. I did my relatives' makeup.
On your own wedding?
Yeah, in
Oh
my bridal
God, don't
lehenga.
tell me you're serious.
In my bridal lehenga. And then I said, chalo, ab main na apna kar leti hu. So everybody asked me, why don't you hire? I mean, at that point of time,
Yeah.
18 years back, Vidya Tikari ma'am was huge.
हाँ,
So I was like, why don't you go to Vidya Tikari to get your makeup done?
हाँ.
I say, I'm very happy with my skill. I'll manage, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, she was fantastic.
और उस टाइम पे तो आई थिंक अब ये if you follow the Insta trends, I think बहुत चल पड़ा है that lot of makeup artists are doing their own makeup.
They should.
Yeah, but
that's the first way of showing that you trust your skill.
you have 100%.
There have been so many makeup artists who hired other makeup artists to do their bridal makeup, which
Yeah.
is a bit surprising to me. Why would you want to do that?
Ironical, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, a tailor going to another tailor for their own suit. Why?
I like the way you put it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I could never understand that. And especially Vidya Tikari's studio was in Delhi. I
Hmm.
was in Ghaziabad. I will travel 1 hour to a makeup artist studio to do something that I already know how to do
Mm.
and then come back and, didn't make sense to me.
But I didn't expect that you've never let anybody touch your face regarding
Never.
makeup.
Once somebody did it, I had to wash my face. So then I thought, it's better not to sort of, make the other person feel bad.
Hmm.
So even if I am an 8 on 10 on myself, I'm happy being the 8 on 10 on myself rather than hurting somebody else's.
Because yet again, I think, ma'am, just like creativity or art, this is art and
It
it's
is.
very subjective.
Yes, very.
Very subjective.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of this
Yes.
skill, I would say.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
Anything that could be 8 on 10 for you
Yeah.
could be 10 on 10 for me.
Absolutely. It
Right.
would be a 2 on 10 for anybody else. So
Yes.
it's very subjective. See, every face is different. Every personality is different.
Every
So
choice of things are very
every
different.
choice of thing is different. So somebody will give me a theme, let's say like an evening in Paris,
Hmm.
and has an expectation of the Great Gatsby in mind. So getting somewhere in the balance
And-
is where the scientific or the technical part of it is where. So makeup is an art, but also a science.
Science. But also another very beautiful thing about this industry is that it's not only about the service that you're providing or the skill that you're catering, it's also about the entire 360-degree experience.
Absolutely.
If my makeup artist or your makeup artist is not nice to you, they are not a good human being at the first place,
Absolutely.
think-
Spot on.
everything else falls apart.
It does.
Have you seen that ever?
Many
around you?
many times I have come across incidents where brides have come to me after their engagement makeup with some other popular artist saying that she made me cry because I was not carrying my nail paint and I was getting uncomfortable with my lashes, and I told the artist that I'm uncomfortable, but at the end of it she just said that this is how you're going to feel rest of the evening. ऐसे ही feel होता ही है. And so she literally ripped off her lashes and said, you know what, I'm going to go like this. So I've heard so many. There was an incident where I was getting the family ready for makeup, and the bride's makeup artist ran away because she got angry. Yes,
This
yes,
happens.
it has happened.
And even if when they're taken the advance.
Yes, absolutely. This happened. So the other person came running to me. I said, ma'am, are you available? Can you do the bride's makeup? And for a second, I was like, April Fool bana rahi hai. How is that possible?
Oh shit.
Yeah. So these things
and
happen.
you cater to that situation.
I did. Of course.
Expected that.
Of course, So there was another one case that happened. The makeup just melted away at 9:30 just before her bridal entry. So I got called at like 8:45 or 9:30 odd that all her makeup is melted and is gone. I mean, it wasn't even summers. Can you please come to, like, there was a hotel, Lalit Hotel. Please come and fix this. I said, okay. I just ran and I had to do what I had to do. So many a times it has happened. See, I take my career as also a very emotional, I have a very
Not only your
emotional.
work project, but your passion project.
Yes. I take it up with all heart because, it's a bride. She's already nervous.
Mm.
The family is tensed about letting her go and they have feelings. Their feelings are all over. That room is full of so many emotions. And at that point of time, if you can't be somebody who can comfort the bride, then you shouldn't be there. So a lot of people, miss that soft skills or that kind of empathy.
Mm.
And that's where, 360-degree experience is much more important than what you're trying to do on the bride's face.
As we were discussing before this interview, I think doing what you're there for, just doing that makeup, is just cherry on the cake. Right?
It is.
The rest of the hustle around it,
Yes.
you have to keep your things in place. You have to be well behaved. You
Yes.
have to look hygienic, clean,
Yes.
well behaved. 100 things.
Absolutely.
Your things at your personal space, your home should also be nice so that you're in a good mental space.
Yes. And even if your things at home are not nice, get your shit together. Simple as that. You have taken, somebody has trusted you with the very important day of your life. Whatever that you're going through emotionally, physically, mentally should be out that door. You have to be that professional. So many times you're feeling unwell, you're really under the weather, you're very tired, but then you can't let that ruin the other person's day, So that needs to be very categorically put in the new generation of artists that are coming in.
I think for the first time I'm seeing such a headstrong woman in front of me, and I didn't expect it to be in this industry. I mean, probably a surgeon or a judge, maybe IAS officer, but this is the first time I've seen somebody so sorted with their professional life.
It has to be. There should be no other way. Why would you want to take your profession lightly? That's something that, earns your livelihood. That's something that you're either good at. And if you don't justify where you are in that moment, then you shouldn't be there.
Okay.
Anywhere for that matter.
One more quirky question I would like to ask. For example, an artist is underpaid to whatever project they've been handed over. Does that reflect in their mood and their work?
Yes, it does.
I would
It
have
shouldn't.
questioned you if you would have said no.
It does. And I mean, usually in my case, if somebody is like haggling away to glory, ma'am, itna nahi, itna nahi, itna, I simply just tell them. I say, sir, this last 10% or ma'am, this last 20% that you're asking me to haggle is for my motivation is to come to your venue and do a good job.
Mhm.
That 20% is that motivation. Now you want to haggle on that motivation for me to create a good look? Go right ahead.
And then they're like, no, ma'am, we'll keep
Ma'am,
it.
अच्छे से करना, ma'am. And this has genuinely happened, and that's my simple straight answer. This last 20% is for my motivation to feel good on a project and, enjoy working there and give my 100%. So now you haggle. I don't have a problem.
I like
But there
that.
are many people who say, nahi, kitne mein bhi we will do it, and then create a ruckus. So better is be straight away that this is not how it is. This is my price. This is as low as I can go and I can compromise. But beyond this, I'm going to show you tantrums. Be straightforward.
Yeah, boundaries are important.
Very important. I would not like to go to a place where my skill is not as much worth to them as it is to me.
Yeah.
I would like to be valued for the skill and whatever I'm getting on the table, And if there's a certain price associated with it, either you pay or you don't. But I'm going to tell you, itne mein ye mera motivation scale hai. This is where it is.
It's not about the amount of makeup that you're carrying in your bag or how
No.
expensive it is. It's
No.
not about what course you did. It's about how many years you've been
Yes.
doing it.
23 years.
You're
to be
catering
precise,
and
yes.
handling over that mastery of those years. That's the
Yes.
cost to it, I would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The amount of the variety of skins that I have worked on, the variety of textures I have worked on, ages that I have worked on.
Cities, countries,
Everywhere,
people.
yes. And
industries.
that's what comes to me. There are people, there are makeup artists, the younger ones. One or two of them have actually called me, and they're not my students.
Yeah.
One or two of them have called me from some artist who's stuck at some location, किसी bride के पास, and then they would say, "Ma'am, मैं ना काम कर रही हूँ, मेरा ये skin patchy हो गया है. What do I do? I am at this location." And I'm like, कौन बोल रहा है भाई? Who is this person?
Wow.
So then, I mean, I've got 2-3 of these calls recently, and that made me think that if in these 23 years I have created an image of such an approachable person कि ये senior artist है, इसको कभी भी phone करो, she will help you. I think I have, I've earned everything. I have, no amount of followers is going to replace this feeling or this image that I have that, you can call this person for anything. She'll be able to guide you, help you genuinely without thinking कि नहीं मैं अगर नहीं बताऊंगी तो इसका खराब हो जाएगा. So maybe in future I'll get that business. No, not at all.
Not at
If I
all.
can help somebody in need, I'm very happy to do
And
that.
it's not because they only trust your skill, it's also because they know you're a good human being.
Yes, absolutely. They know that I'll not be saying, मैं किसी को नहीं जानती and I will hang up. No, I will not.
Yeah.
If you're in a soup, I'd be happy to help you. So many times has happened, people are doing makeup, कुछ नहीं गड़बड़ हो रही है या कुछ हो रहा है, I will just call them on the side. I said, Raja, just do this, and
Sweetly.
of course, I would never insult anybody or question their talent. But if I know something's wrong, I can't just stand there and say, oh yeah, that's what they paid for, so that's what they'll get.
Yeah.
No, I would much rather just tell them, darling, just smudge this off a little bit or whatever.
No.
So,
Kudos to you for being that way. I mean, lovely.
thank you.
I mean, now that you're so high on energy and you're just so happy-go-lucky kind of person, you have that vibe and you're so good at your work, you're a very big place right now, especially in this industry. Have you ever felt that, maybe was there any situation like that where you felt that this is not for me? Or maybe you were so drenched or it sucked so much energy of yours that you felt probably that you want to give up in that situation. Was there any moment like that?
There was once in 2020, like a lot of artists and people out there in COVID, that's when I felt that, I think it's time for me to hang my boots. Ab ho gaya hai, because after COVID, obviously there were such less weddings.
Yeah.
And we were just looking at each other's Instagram and sick and tired of the homemade cookies and the cake recipes and all that happening. So that was the time I thought, what, I think it's time for me to pack up. But then a couple of really interesting projects came about and my husband teases me.
Yeah.
Jaise hi season aata hai, you are like bubbling with energy. The minute off season strikes, I'm actually very active. I need things to do. And the minute I have 3-4 days khali, I just, what am I going to do?
Self-depressed.
What am I going to do with my life? Where is this going? So that
Gosh.
happens to me every off season, literally. And a lot of my hairstylists is also joke. Ma'am, ho gayi aapki retirement? Nikal aaya baar. So this happens every season.
Yeah.
And then every on season, I get like these beautiful brides, amazing assignments, and so many things to be thankful for. So this is an every off season feature.
Okay.
Now this has happened.
But do you think that you can ever detach yourself from this work?
My friends joke with me and my daughter's friends joke with me कि ना मुझे लगता है कि देखो क्या problem है, your mom is a makeup artist. I said, भैया, I'm never going to do my daughter's makeups
Yeah.
because by then my hands would probably be shaking. And घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर, my daughters will say, Mama, you please leave the room.
Oh
We will
God.
hire an artist. But if I
How
were
old
to
is
say,
your daughter?
One's 16, the other one's 11.
Okay,
So
but
it's still a lot of time, and that's
Yeah.
where the handshaking.
But do they like what you do, and are they do they have an inclination towards makeup at
My
all?
elder one is a sports person.
Oh,
She's a
wow.
national level fencer.
Wow.
It's her competition tomorrow for which I'm going.
Wow.
And so she is not into makeup at all.
Hmm.
And the younger one has a different kind of a creative energy.
Okay.
She is like what I would call an absolute artist buddhi.
Oh.
unpredictable and highly creative, extremely intelligent. So she has a creative bone in her.
She got it from mama.
Yes. And once I was away and
Yeah.
my young and elder one had to dress up my younger one for her school function.
Okay.
So I told her, and we were on a video call, I was somewhere else. And I said, Diva, the elder one, I said, Diva, ab aap na drawer khol ke just pick up foundation, thoda sa. And she's like, kahan hai? Kaun si foundation? My younger one is this one.
Okay, and
I said,
she's 11.
Yes. And then I said, Diva, now you need to apply blusher. Ye wala brush hai aur ye wala. Mama, blusher kaun sa? Then Myra is like, this one. So I was very impressed.
And you
I was
named
like,
the elder one Diva.
Diva.
Okay, I can believe that suits her, the younger one the
Oh
more.
yes, absolutely.
What's her name?
Myra.
Myra.
Yeah.
Oh God, lovely names. You name them. I mean,
Thank
you've been
you.
around celebrities. I get that.
The idea was for them to have such small names that you don't create nicknames out of.
Wow.
So Diva ka maximum Divu hota hai, Myra ka Myru hota hai because of the cuteness. Otherwise, you can't shorten a Diva or this thing. I like to call her D at times, but that's it.
That's it. Oh
Yeah.
God, this is super cool mom image you're creating right now.
So I mean, to get back to your question about me being able to detach myself, with time I think I will, because there's a certain age till which you can handle the pressures and the hours that come with it, and also the mental capacity to handle newer age brides. So after a certain while, I think I will exit elegantly and accept it that it's time for the next generation to move on. I will let go, definitely will.
But now that you said elegantly, I would say currently you're in a very classy, professional, very
Yes.
experienced kind of a celebrity or makeup artist zone. But ऐसा moment हर किसी की life में होता है where you were obviously struggling and hustling and thriving to prove your worth or to bring that picture or narrative into picture that this is you. So was there any moment or any horror story that you went through? Maybe you were underpaid, you didn't get paid at all. Was there anything like that?
Yes, there was once I was expecting my second one. I had just one day before I had got the news that I'm pregnant with my second one, and I was to travel to a remote area in Punjab for a bridal makeup. The girl and her family, they met up with me, and very nice. And Pally came from a political background and everything, and she said, "Didi, you stay at our house. I'm going to send a car for you." And I told her that back then that my maid and my child and my team is going to come with us. And she said, no problem. So we traveled to her place. I immediately informed them that I'm expecting. So, I may not be able to sort of stand for very long or bend and everything. And they said, no problems. So the very first night, they made me stay they gave me a servant quarter. I entered and I said, I'm sorry. I'm not going to stay here. I'm not comfortable. Yes. And then she told me, you are my guest. You will stay in my house. So in her house, the servant quarter is what I was offered. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable. So then they offered me some relative's residence. Because it was so cold at night and we were short of blankets, I gave the blankets to my assistant and my daughter. And in the morning, I developed a cold. I started the bridal makeup at 5 in the morning. And after her bridal makeup and 5 other relatives that I had to do the makeup and hair for, it was about total 6 people. It was 2:30 in the afternoon. We were not offered even a glass of water. I had to go to her kitchen to cook Maggie for her, my child, my assistant, and my child's nanny. I fed them. And till 3:30, I was told that, I was to go to my relative's place to stay for the day. And they did not provide me the conveyance. So after 3:30, they provided me with the conveyance. We reached my relative's place where I was to stay for a day and the next day do her reception makeup as well. So the lady the next day calls me, the mother of the bride, and says that, I'm sorry, one of the aunties from UK, London return Mami ji or something, did not like the bun. So we are not going to call you anymore. Reception makeup is cancelled and we are not going to give you any conveyance to go back home from this remote place to Chandigarh. And ab aap apna dekh lo. I froze. I was like, this was genuine horror moment. I'm at my relative's place, right? I'm not paid. My child is with me. I don't have a conveyance to go back to. And I'm expecting. I called my husband. He arranged for the vehicle. And that was the day he told me, you will never leave your house without your car, without your driver, and without taking 100% advance. And because I don't know if she came from a political background, she thought she had the right to just dismiss a pregnant woman just like that. So forget about the
audacity.
money. But imagine she just left me stranded. It was unbelievable. That incident, I mean, my mom is going to hear about this now on your podcast. She's not known about this. Had she known about this, my career would have ended that very day.
God.
But that just left such a scar on me. And I told my parents-in-law, I told my husband about it. And that was nasty. I don't think you should ever do it to any woman. And when you know she's pregnant, when you see her 3.5-year-old child tagging along with her for the makeup appointment. And the bride, you know what she told me in the morning? That, Didi, you've delivered me my dream look.
Didn't you fight?
How could
Or
I
made
have?
a scene?
How could I have? And where could I have? And plus, I'm not those kinds. I was at my relative's place. What could I have done? Gone back to their house, made an ugly scene. How is that going to solve the purpose? Secondly, I don't like to, I have never liked to reduce my standards or my level of dignity for others who don't have the same standards. How is it, that it's simple as that. If you are, playing in the mud with a pig is enjoying it. You are just getting dirty. I'm not one of those. I would much rather move on.
I love how patient and calm you are with the situation. Have it be anybody else, I mean,
They could have gone. They could have fought. They could have
Call the
posted it
police
all over
probably.
Facebook. I had the pictures. I could have done everything. But what purpose is that solving? They know what they did. I know what I did.
And obviously, the karma and the God is watching 100%. That's that.
I mean,
Anyways.
you're marrying off a daughter
Yeah.
and you're insulting another person's daughter in this manner. The universe is watching. I am nobody to give any judgment or pass on.
Okay, I mean, this was heavy, and this
Yeah.
was your, I would say, the worst story or the worst project that you ever
So to all
tackled.
those who thinks it's easy, think again.
Please, I mean, करने को कर लेते हैं, artist बन जाएंगे. I mean, look at it, guys.
Yes. So many times I have seen makeup artists crying in front of clients for money. मैम सारा काम कर दिया, अब तो पेमेंट कर दो. And the client is like, नहीं आपने यहाँ पे shadow ठीक नहीं लगाया, यहाँ पे just excuses not to pay.
She.
You have to have a very, very calm and a strong sense of purpose to get out of those moments.
And also have a strong personality. I mean,
Yeah.
strong personality doesn't mean to shout a fight or
Yes.
kind of make a scene, but to
Yes.
carry that aura that nobody
Yes.
can just
Absolutely.
pacify you in this way.
Yeah.
Wow. And what was the best project that you ever tackled in this industry or in this entire years of journey?
By God's grace, there have been too many.
Okay.
Too many.
What
I
was
have
your
just the
favorite?
most amazing clients. The best was, honestly, there are so many beautiful brides I have worked with. We've literally developed this elderly sister connect with them. So I've had clients who came to me for their class 12 farewell makeup,
Okay.
and I have done their wedding makeups. And I'm doing their children's first birthday.
What? Because
makeups,
now that
yes.
you've been almost 2 decades, you're
Yes,
here.
23 years.
Yeah, wow.
So each and every one of them is so special. Literally seeing them grow from brides to, mommies,
God.
and from students to brides to moms. It's
You're a makeup
fantastic.
contact in so many people's phones, I would
Yes,
say.
yes, yeah. They know that if there's makeup, there has to be
And
Tanvi.
बताओ, अब इसमें what will social media do?
Nothing. That's why I don't pay for ads. I would much rather give my 100% to one client at one point of time rather than trying to appeal to 20,000 other people who knowing really well that this particular makeup has been edited to bits and then following and praising the artist's work. I would much rather appeal to the person who has trusted me with their money, with their effort, with their time. I would much rather work for that one person than
And do
try
justice to the event.
Absolutely.
And then word of mouth will do its work.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, I don't find that there should be any other way of doing your work.
Mhm.
you know.
And the reason, another thing that I've been waiting since the beginning is that why we wanted you here and we were dying for your time was that how you were the only makeup artist from Chandigarh who's done a Hollywood project.
Yes.
I would want to know about that story from A to Z,
Oh, wow.
everything. Please, please, please.
That was such a defining moment in my career. So I saw this newspaper clipping
Okay.
that the local production house had put out that, there's this particular movie that is going to be shot in India. It's a crossover film starring Nargis Fakhri, Rajkumar Rao, and a couple of very other talented people. So I just saw the article and I just sent her out an email. I'm interested. I have this makeup experience and I'm based in Chandigarh. And because 80% of the movie was being shot in and around Chandigarh, so I immediately got a call. I didn't believe that a single email would do that. I don't know if it's an email or a Facebook message. I don't know. But I got a call.
Yeah.
And they said that the international team, the production team from LA is going to shortlist the artist for the talent. The actor and actresses, they're called talent. So I said, fine. So then I had an interview with the AD from LA. Then I met with Nargis. I met with Raj. I showed them my kit. And that's how I got the project. And I was so nervous.
How much time did all of this take to just kind
10,
of lock
12
it?
days.
That's it?
It got locked in about 10, 12 days.
God.
I was
You must
so
have been so
nervous.
sleepless.
Oh, yes. Super excited. And I was like, what have I just done? I just emailed it and I don't know. I did not have an experience to be on a professional set. Before that, I had done a couple of Punjabi songs. So,
I mean, I'm very interesting question for that also, but after this story.
so then this happened. So all I knew is that I have to do my job with full conviction. The way they work is like it's a 12-hour shift. So 12 hours and 5 minutes is also overtime. So our contracts came in, the IMDb page got created. Yeah, you have to have you have to be a part of that.
Technicalities.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that happened. And so we used to work 12-hour shifts. It could be 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. It could be 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. depending on the kind of looks. And it is very different from when you're doing brides because in a movie, you have to have there's a continuity, right? So if one particular day is not shot in one day, small scenes are connected here and there. So you have to remember exactly what product, what hair did you do in that day scene, which is going to be, like an evening scene on some other day. So that continuity is very important to remember.
Because you have to replicate
Exactly, replicate. You cannot have a darker lipstick. You cannot have a darker eyeliner. It has to be spot on.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that was very exciting. They were so professional and I got to learn so much from there.
How
It
was your
was
relationship with people on the set?
My relationship with the talent, like with Nargis and with Rajkumar, was very cordial. I like to keep to myself because I don't want to come across as somebody who's interested in their private lives because honestly, I'm not.
Yeah.
So I kept to myself, but both of them were so lovely. They were wonderful people. They knew I had goodies in my car.
Yeah.
So every day they'll ask me that 4 o'clock pe jo bhook lagti hai na, that time, Tanvi kya hai aaj car mein? So I would sometimes, I said, I don't have healthy things for you. I have for my team, I have Maggie and Coke and this. So then I would get makhane for Nargis. Then I would get oat cookies for Raj sir. Ki bhai chalo theek hai, they should stick to their healthy diet and stuff. So by the end of the shoot, everybody knew bhook lag rahi hai. Ma'am ki gaadi ki chabi lo, diggi kholo and binge on.
Oh.
So that was beautiful. But yes, because we had a lot of local production team, I did not get the most warm vibes from them. Yeah, so...
I mean, obviously, everything has both sides of it.
Yes,
right?
so they kind of found it very threatening that a woman who is financially comfortable, happy at home, educated, what is she doing on the set? As if it was a crime for me to be on that set,
If she has her own car, if she has her own whole shit sorted, then why is she struggling?
Why is she on the set? It was so difficult for them to imagine that I was there simply for the love of the craft. That was not a part of their dictionary, which was very amazing to me because that's where I start.
Because in India, you're on your toes
Yeah.
or you are working really hard, only either you need money
Yeah.
to support something at your home,
Yes.
or secondly, if you are really hungry for opportunities or just want to
Right.
climb the ladder, but
Exactly.
you were there only purely for your passion.
Purely for my passion. There is no other reason why my mother-in-law, she recently had her eye surgery. And it was right during at that time, for me to let go of my responsibilities to a certain extent and let go of my two children back home. Only because I knew that this is something I have to learn. And I just wanted there not to go and show off my knowledge, but to just absorb the knowledge on that set, that how does this work?
How
It
many
was
days
just-
was this, all of this?
This was almost 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's a
it
long
was
time,
just
I mean.
fascinating.
Wow.
Really, really fascinating.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So yet again, as you said, it's obviously you can be planned with your personal life balance and everything,
Yes.
but sometimes you do have to, give away or let
a
go
lot.
of things.
A lot.
Hmm.
We are the makeup artists are the only people who are the last ones to arrive at any family function. पहले सबको तैयार करेंगे, फिर हम खुद तैयार होंगे.
Vice versa to their professional events.
No, yes, absolute contrast. We're the first ones to arrive there, and we're the last ones to arrive at any family function.
Because you're so drained and busy. And
No, because every family member wants to get ready.
oh
पहले हमें
God.
तैयार करो. So पहले हम उन्हें तैयार करेंगे, फिर हम खुद तैयार होंगे, उसके बाद हम घर से निकलेंगे.
Hmm.
So we are the ones missing out on cutting off the cake or ring proposals or the bride's entries. We miss all of that in family
Oh,
scenarios.
Gosh.
Yeah.
But apart from that, like, as you told me that this was one amazing opportunity for you. You made most of it. And I can 100% see that you are a doer in life.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Anything that comes your way, you make the most of it. You never
Yes.
say no. And you're a very optimistic person. I can see through
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
But, has there been any situation where, it was so, all of a sudden that it came to you, any opportunity which you said yes to and you mastered it and you kind of blew it off? It was an amazing thing. Has this happened with you ever?
Yes, many a times. When the first time I was hired to do makeup for a Punjabi item song on Yuvraj Singh's wife, Hazel Keech, who was a
Oh.
star at that point because she'd just done Bodyguard.
Yeah.
That opportunity
Don't
came
tell
to
me
me.
it's Ante Wala song.
No.
Okay.
It's a Punjabi song.
Okay.
And it was a very fun song.
Okay.
And there was Gurpreet Guggi ji also,
Oh, wow.
a very established Punjabi actor
Yes.
there. So that was the first time, karoge? I said, huh?
Yeah.
And I went on, and as a part of her eyeliner, I stuck black crystal tape on her eyes. The director of the movie, he came into the vanity van, ji, makeup kisne kiya aaj?
Huh.
I was so scared. I said, aaj gaye.
Huh.
And that was the first time I was working back in a professional camera. He came and he literally shook my hand. He's like, madam, itne makeup artists dekh liye, ye nahi kabhi dekha, maza aa gaya.
Wow.
And that was such a fantastic push. So it was brilliant. Then we shot for 25 hours straight,
Wow.
non-stop. And the second time was when I was, asked to go for a pre-wedding shoot
Mm.
with a couple where, I was contacted कि आप makeup के लिए चाहिए. I said, okay. And then the photographer asked me, hair कर लोगे? And I know hair. I've done hair, but not actively. And I said, हाँ, कर लेंगे.
Because you obviously have assistants and other
Yes, I have
artists,
assistants and I've been trained in it, but I don't do it because it saves time.
right? Yeah.
So they said, we only need one person, makeup and hair.
Oh.
कर लोगे? I
Mm.
said, हाँ. And he said, ठीक है, चलो. I said, okay.
Mm.
So then there goes our passport. And I was like, now that I've said yes to the hair part also, what do I do? So then I call my hair assistant and I buy all these new products कि भाई मुझे ढंग से सिखाओ. I need to sort of brush up on my skills and things like that. So even when I said yes to the project, I didn't say it yes just for the opportunity to travel abroad or anything. By God's grace, I've done that myself.
Yeah.
The idea was to challenge myself and to push myself for that last 10% that I'm unsure of. So that's what I really like to do. And I will never say no to an opportunity just because I have never done it before.
Mm.
There has to be a first time.
Mm.
And why not? And I will make sure that I do it so bloody well that it doesn't seem like it's been done for the first time.
Wow.
So then I put in that effort at the back end. That if I have said yes to something, I better do it and I better do it well.
I can see you're such a doer. I mean,
Yes.
you've just made the most of any opportunity that comes your way.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Any opportunity.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And, has there been any time when you have said no to any opportunity, even if there was a financial gain, but it didn't meet up to the standards that you
Yes.
want to be offered at?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have said no to working in the Punjabi film industry way back then. The
You said
local.
no to the Punjabi
Yes,
industry.
I said no to Jat and Juliet too.
Okay. You're saying this on the camera. You said no. Why?
I could see the perception of the people at that point of time in that industry regarding a successful, well-off female being a makeup artist. So that perception was that, back then, I will not call it now. I don't know about it now. But back then, the idea was that what is she doing here? And I was not getting the most warmest of this thing. And there were people wanting to, there were people wanting to flirt with me and, trying to lure me into an outdoor shoot for 1.5 months. Ma'am, Canada mein shoot hoga and the artists, the big actors, the people who are in the movie, वो होंगे, Canada में shoot होगा, नहीं आपको चलना चाहिए. I said, no, I will not
All
do it.
chupri and unprofessional batein.
Yes. One, because they were not the number of hours. पता ही नहीं कब शुरू करना है काम, कब खत्म करना है, कोई
Kahan
वो
you
नहीं
worked
था.
in Hollywood.
Exactly.
You know your thing.
I know my thing. I
You-
have the script. I have everything down to the T. And then it was a fantastic opportunity, but I would not take any opportunity that makes me compromise on my ethics and my principles. And secondly, if I'm not comfortable with where I'm going and who I'm going with,
Hmm.
I would not do that. Never.
But ma'am, one thing that I've seen is that you've done MBA as well, right?
Yeah.
And that brings up the entrepreneurial side of you.
Mm.
So how come that, like, obviously you could bring a very scalable venture for yourself. You've come up with so many things with your husband, obviously.
Yes.
What was that fire and why was this in you? I mean, your makeup thing was going so good.
Yeah.
Then what came into you that you went for this?
For Tara,
Yeah.
it was
No,
again,
not for Tara, the salon.
the salon.
Yeah.
The salon I opened way before my marriage.
Okay.
It was in 2003.
Yeah.
I got married in 2008.
Okay.
So that was before I just finished my bachelor's. And
Yeah.
I said, let's, my family wanted to start a business. And they thought that since I'm, qualified in this, let's just start that. So this was before my marriage that we wanted to start this particular salon.
Mm.
And I think business is something that's ingrained in me. My father was an entrepreneur.
Okay.
So I think I get that from my father. And my mother, she's an educationist.
Mm.
And we have a school in the family.
Mm.
So business is something that as like a dinner table conversation. So
Yeah.
for me not to study business was probably unnatural. I wanted to study. I wanted to do an MBA.
Mm.
And so that's mainly it. So
Mm.
initially it was just out of fun that we started this particular bit.
But tackling your clients today, does MBA help you with that also? Because this in itself also being an entrepreneur today,
Yes,
it's not only about
absolutely.
freelancing, right?
Yes. As an MBA, I got exposure of different facets of business,
Yeah.
and they have helped me shape my brand, shape my, manage my time well. That's something that's also very specifically taught in MBA. Strategy, finances, marketing. So you are taught everything. And for you to be able to, because a makeup artist is not just a makeup artist.
Mm.
We're entrepreneurs,
Mm.
right? We handle so much together. So getting all of these departments together is also something that one must be at least a little aware of, if not professionally qualified to do
Mm.
it. So an MBA will definitely help you in all facets of your life. And with whatever that we've planned in the future, I'm sure my MBA is going to help me even more so.
But I mean, if we talk about, there's so many artists that are popping up every day these days. Do you think so many are closing down or not doing well enough because of the lack of skills, or because of this entrepreneurial mindset? Because it's very tough to make a brand out of a
Yes.
skill today. So
It's both.
It's both.
It's both.
Yeah.
So there are people who will put in lakhs and lakhs of rupees to start a brand,
Hmm.
but they will not be able to follow it up with the skill.
Hmm.
And then there are lots of people who are very skilled but do not have the capital or the skill to make it a brand.
Hmm.
Those people may still manage and crawl into becoming successful. But the ones who lack the skill, there's hardly that anything can be done. So it's a bit of both.
Yeah. So now that we're talking about brand so much, I want to finally bring this to everybody about Tara.
Oh.
So when I mean, this is your baby, right? And when we were talking about obviously to shoot this podcast with you and you agreed, I mean, one thing that was the most interesting thing about this entire journey was Tara.
Yes.
This is not only some product, it's an invention, I would say.
It is.
It is an innovation, and you've incepted it in a way.
Yes.
So if you could tell our audience what this exactly is about.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Tara stands for TA is for me and RA is for Rahul. That's what Tara is. It's also a guiding light. And back in 2020 during COVID, I had to throw a lot of my makeup products. I'm a very hygiene conscious person. So I dispose my kit when the expiry comes about. So he saw me just disposing my products, checking a diary and then throwing my product. He said, "What are you doing? Is there no expiry written on beauty products?" I said, "No. The beauty products come with an open jar symbol.
Okay.
Which means the number of, and there's a number of written
seen
inside
that.
the can.
Yeah.
So it's either 6M, 12M, 18M. So I used to note down the opening date of all my products so I could correspond and throw them when in time. And he said, "Are you serious? There is nothing on a cosmetic product that can tell you that it's expired."
Yeah.
I said, "No, it's not. You have to track it. A person has to track the opening date of every product that they use."
Okay.
70% of women are using expired products. And he's an engineer, so he got to thinking. He said, "Yaar, ye kya hua? How has the cosmetic industry skipped this or missed this?" And then both of us got to talking and we started developing this. So what Tara does is it's a life cycle tracker. And the moment you open your product for the first time, there's a countdown that starts with it. So for example, if your product is good for 12 months,
Yeah.
Tara, every time you touch your product or you move it, it's going to give you a green light till the time it's for 12 months. And once the 12 months have elapsed and you touch your bottle again, it's going to start giving you a red blinking light.
Oh.
So that you know that your product has expired.
But this is so crazy that, I mean, people missed out on it.
It did.
And-
Our patent is pending and, the innovation has been established.
Yeah. And nobody ever thought of this. Isn't this crazy?
It is. The last that packaging, rule came about was in 2005 when PAO, this particular symbol, pre-read after opening jar symbol, was launched in 2005. It's been more than 20 years and there has been no innovation in cosmetic packaging.
Gosh, brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one, but what about conceptualizing this, right? I mean, thinking about the idea is one thing. How do
Yes.
you bring it into action?
See, I am the thinker. I am the one who comes up with crazy ideas, but it is Rahul who gets back to execution. So
Very
we make a
boasting.
perfect team. And he's the one who got down pen and paper. Okay, this is what we need. And then we went on resolving each and every issue. First, it has to open with the product, right? Otherwise, it is simply going to blink a time period that you've set. But it has to open with the first opening of your product. It has to give you a green light, 2 blinks, 1 blink.
Can you show that us right now?
Sure, yeah.
So, okay, you can
So-
show the camera.
Now it's going to wait for another 30 seconds to then blink again because,
You
Has-
just touched the product.
yes.
Okay.
So it gives you 2 sharp blinks
Yeah.
when the product is good to use.
Okay.
And after that, it just settles for 30
Do you have
seconds.
any product which gives a red light right now?
There it is.
Okay. So, see, yeah, it did. It did. So now again for another blink, we have to wait a few seconds.
Yes.
Wow. See, yes, it is giving that red light. So it is
Yeah.
expired. And
Yeah.
what if somebody uses, so this is just for insights and education basis.
Mhm.
Somebody uses an expired product too much on their face, what happens to their skin?
See, all the cosmetic companies do have a safe buffer period. If they say 12 months, the product may be good for 15 to 18 months. 18, nahi, but maybe 15, 16 odd months. And once you open use an expired product, a variety of skin allergies and complications could arise. You could develop acne, you could develop redness, you could develop sudden itching. Your product has lost the integrity to work well. The actives in your product like retinol, vitamin C, etc. are only good for a certain period of time. So
This works only on makeup products or skincare?
skincare and makeup both.
Wow.
So, and especially with actives, if you're applying a retinol night cream and it has expired, it is not going to do anything for you. And then what it leads to? Brand dissatisfaction. I spent 7,000 on my cream, it just doesn't work.
It's
Without
expired.
you realizing that you've been using the same thing for 2 years when you were to use it for 6 months. Right? So that brand dissatisfaction.
Have
And
you guys thought about the pricing of the product?
very minimally priced.
How much?
It's
Still, give a
somewhere
figure.
around, let's say, if you have to do about 25 to 40 rupees, somewhere in
That's
the middle.
it?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I can say in the future I interviewed you, no? We'll see you on Shark Tank soon.
Aw.
Wow. Beautiful. I mean, great
So-
innovations is lovely.
Thank you.
So when you went to obviously somebody who had developed this product, how did you explain him or her this?
It took time. It took a lot of time and Rahul did most of the explaining. This
Wow.
is what we need. This is how it should show. So all of these electrical engineers and mechanical engineers, these guys
They
got to
understand.
work on the vision that we had jointly come together. So even they couldn't understand कि ये क्या कह रहे हैं.
Hmm.
Because half of the people don't know what a PAO symbol is. तो पहले तो मुझे यहाँ से start करना पड़ता
Yeah,
है कि ये
because at least
PAO
your
symbol
husband
है.
knew the basics because he lives with you.
Yes, yes.
Oh
That
God.
also, when I was doing the diary and throwing, and he was like, कुछ तो लिखा होगा कहीं
I
expiry
like
का.
that he was so intrigued that you could come up with this idea.
Yes, and he was like, कुछ तो लिखा होगा. I said, नहीं लिखा. PAO symbol बना है. अब उसको, I have to manually track it, no?
Yeah.
12 months from the date of opening. You opened in April, I opened in July. It's going to expire at a different level, no?
Yeah.
So then who tracks it?
Wow. And when the product came in for the first time, you checked it and it was working perfectly well. How was that feeling?
Oh, it was fantastic because we
God.
did the test run for 1 month and 3 months. And literally every product in my cosmetic drawer is with Tara on it. And
Wow.
anytime I open my drawer, it's like a jingle.
Blinks.
Yes, it's like a whole, क्या कहते हैं वो रात में जुगनू नहीं होते,
Jugnus.
firefly kind of a drawer. Because we've pasted it everywhere. We've tested up till 6 months.
Wow.
6 months testing is already
You've done through thorough research on everything, trying, testing, everything.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So there were a couple of modifications that needed to be done and everything. So those are also done. And we're just waiting for our final patent this thing to
is
come through.
beautiful. It feels like you've done some Doraemon invention right now.
You know, every makeup artist later on in their lives is going to want to maybe start their own brand or leave a legacy of some sort.
Somebody's doing lenses, somebody's doing
Yes.
brushes.
Yes.
People
Lenses,
are
brushes, products, so many things that they
Yeah.
are doing. And this was something as a way of me giving back to probably, developing something from my own experience.
But I think
And
this is going to be a few years. I should not even say, I think months. A necessity, I would say.
it will become a necessity once you experience it. Then you'll realize ki how are we functioning without this? It is the same like an iPhone.
Yeah.
You can't imagine a life without it only till you experienced it. So when you know that you are entering your washroom and then there is this vanity drawer with 30 products sitting on it, you know the minute you lift that, okay, you know what, I'm using a safe product.
And in fact, that feeling,
Yes.
that's probably psychological
Yes.
push that you are doing the right thing
yes.
would also do wonders for
Yes.
people.
And consumers these days, they need transparency. They need to know where is my product sourced from, how safe is it vegan, is it, is it any of those against animal testing, etc. So Tara is one step in that direction where you know whatever that you've spent on, whatever that you're applying on your skin is safe.
We both know Tara has a very bright future. It's
Yes.
gonna be actually a Tara, I would say.
that's the intention behind it.
100%, 100%.
Right.
In fact, even when you said that you're somebody who's very concerned about hygiene,
Yeah.
one very interesting question that popped up recently, people have kind of brought this into picture that hygiene and sanitizing your
Finally,
brushes,
yes.
especially after COVID, this has happened.
Yes.
Nobody did pay attention to this. So, what was your take on this back then?
When I did my first professional makeup in 2004, February, it is from that day onwards that I have never kept my kit without cleaning. I have never done a bridal makeup or any makeup for that matter with long nails. The minute the season begins, I chop off my nails.
I saw this video. There was this artist. She was doing a bridal makeup.
Yeah.
And she had this.
Yes.
this long nails.
Imagine the fungus and the bacteria.
Not only the bacteria, she was holding the brush like this.
Yeah.
She couldn't even hold it
Of
this
course.
way. And those nails were almost touching her lashes.
Exactly. Where is the hygiene? Where is the professionalism? Either you do fashion or you work, right? So, when I go on a project, I don't even apply a mascara. Because God forbid if some mascara ka powder or something comes in
Residue.
my eye, it is going to delay my client. So I'm obsessive till that level. So I will chop my nails. I will wear only black comfortable clothes. So I'm not bothered about, oh, this stain happened, that stain happened. I don't have time for that. I am only there for my clients.
You've done it so many times that you exactly know what will pinch me or probably
Yes,
be a
absolutely.
hurdle.
Mascara is an absolute no-no.
Wow.
I can apply an eyeliner. I will never apply a mascara because sometimes when you move your eye, the dryness, the little powder
Residue.
falls off. Yes, a
Yeah.
little residue, and it may harm your eye.
Yeah.
So I take care of the may instead of having to suffer through. I think through a lot. So long nails are a no-no. Keeping my brushes sanitized is something I have done since ever. I mean, in 2020, people were making reels ki lo ji ab ye naya kaam ho gaya, iska safai karne ka, uska safai karne ka. I said, I mean, I've been doing it since ever,
I
That
believe
is why I
this
have
is-
brushes that have lasted me for almost 18 years.
Whoa.
I have 18, 20-year-old brushes in my kit even till today. I take very good care of them.
And that's what exactly professionalism is all about,
Yes.
right?
People used to wash their brushes with Lux ka sabun se dholo and all that. I
Clinic
never,
Plus.
yes, never in my life is my brush going to go through that
Oh my God.
ever. So hygiene is a newfound concept for
People.
Instagram now, but
Mhm.
that is something that is absolutely non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And I'm
100%.
glad people are finally waking up to
Finally.
it. Yeah.
Ma'am, another very much awaited question for people would be how to choose a perfect makeup artist for yourself.
Okay.
And when I told my friends I am going to interview or do this podcast with you, she's this and that, it's like, please ask her. And a lot of people are, they're planning to get married. I was like, obviously. And I think a lot of people will associate with me asking you this. How do we choose a perfect makeup artist for ourselves?
Okay. For me, I think the first would be read the reviews and read the worst ones first. Read the 1 stars and the 2 stars first, right? Then, second, ask them for their knowledge, quiz them on questions, ask them what their kit is about. And the last thing would be to go on Instagram. You can also ask them for unedited pictures of their work because majority of the artists out there have heavily edited videos and pictures. So don't fall for that trap. Ask them if they have non-edited pictures. Some artists will entertain you, some will hang up the phone on you. So,
They will. They
yeah.
will.
So then that's something you can look into. Reviews are very important. And if you happen to have friends and relatives who've recently been in this thing, go with the word of mouth. Often a good artist who's, doing all sorts of great work online may not have given your friends the most amazing experience. So word of mouth, reviews, and non-edited pictures is one of the couple of ways. You can always go for trials, but then again, trials are expensive and you can only take 2 or 3.
Correct.
It's also a time-consuming
Right.
this thing.
Hmm.
So better would be, at least on the top 3 would be this.
Oh, perfect. And other than that, one problem with today's world is that your experience or your perfection or your skill is being judged by amount of followers you have on Instagram.
Yes, absolutely.
If you have followers below 10K
Uh-huh.
and you're a makeup artist,
Oh, you are a nobody.
exactly.
Yeah.
So how do we understand?
See, this, social media has its positives and its negatives. And yes, it has given us a lot. It's a huge platform for us to showcase our skills. But at the same time, the number of followers has nothing to do with the experience that I have, with the kind of work that I do. So there have been people who've come to me and asked me कि मैम इतने साल से काम कर रहे हो आपके अभी तक 2-2.5 लाख फॉलोअर्स नहीं हुए. My simple answer to them was कि मैम आप शाम को मुझे कॉल कर लेना. I will just buy the followers and बढ़ा दूंगी. उसमें क्या है, 1,000-2,000 रुपए का काम है. So,
And that's true.
it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I keep getting it in my feed. 500 rupees for 1,000 followers. 100 rupees for 5,000 real
I also
views.
get it.
Everybody gets it. And yet you are being ignorant about, this kind of a
Buyers,
thing.
followers, subscribers, views,
Yes.
shares,
It's
likes,
like,
everything can be
yes,
bought.
exactly. Everything can be purchased. It's like judging a teacher by the car in which she comes to school. Does it make sense? Doesn't.
It doesn't.
Right? मैम आप कौन सी कार से आते हो उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Judge my skill, judge my knowledge, judge my experience, judge my, from the word of
You
mouth.
have an experience of working at a Hollywood set. That's almost like a teacher going to Oxford and
Yes.
then teaching you.
Absolutely.
And still you're judging people by their followers. How
Yes.
stupid is that?
Exactly. So my only,
How do we know
reaction-
that what is a facade and what is real on social media? If you could guide us through that.
See, it's very clear when a person has no lines on the face, and even when a person is smiling and the smile lines are missing, it is edited.
Okay.
How is it possible that you smile and no lines appear?
Hmm.
Like, it's just not possible,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
So the first thing you look for is the smile line.
Hmm.
If the bride is nice and smiley and chirpy and there is no line on her face, it is edited. It may be fantastically edited, but it is edited. Yes.
Lot of makeup artists have reversed the roles and they are choosing their brides on the basis of how they look,
Yeah.
how many followers they have. Now, makeup artists
Yeah.
are selecting their bride
Yes.
of who they will choose to do the work of.
Yes.
So,
I think that's one of the most demeaning things you can do to a woman by telling her, if you are choosing her, if you're choosing a pretty face to do a bride and you're selecting out of a pool of these 10 women, I find you most gorgeous, so I will do your makeup. It either means that you are not comfortable and confident of your skill. आप अगर एक सुंदर को ही बहुत सुंदर बना सकते हो, फिर फायदा क्या हुआ?
आपका काम क्या है फिर?
Exactly. What's your work? वो तो फोटोग्राफर ही कर देगा. Secondly,
Photoshop कर लेंगे. Why would you
उसमें
edit?
क्या आपकी जरूरत ही क्या है? Secondly, you have already dented 9 other women's minds that they were not good enough. Who are you to tell that to a bride or any girl?
Right.
Imagine being in that line in some other service, and how would you feel? You've already scarred that girl, considering that, she's thinking, oh, I'm not good enough to be that on that person's particular page. I'm not rich enough to get a branded lehenga or jewelry, so that makeup artist is not going to hire me. How materialistic and how shallow is this? Your job, as I understand it, is to make everybody look their best.
Yes.
Right?
True.
Bring out their natural beauty, make them feel like the best version of themselves. Your job is not to decide who is beautiful, who is not. No. If God has given you a skill and if you've worked hard towards improving on that particular knowledge, at least use it to make everybody beautiful. What's the point of, hiring or only choosing a super beautiful, super rich girl and making her look good? I mean, she will look good any which ways, So I think that's one of the saddest things that you can do is tell a girl
Yeah.
that she is not good enough.
Good enough.
I would never want my daughter to be one of those. Never.
So, ma'am, another question that I wanted to ask you, a lot of people have made a big mistake, maybe, choosing somebody wrong for their event or something like that. What do you tell people? How can they protect or save themselves from something that has happened to them? Is there any pro tip that you can help with our audience that, can save their event that day?
In terms of choosing the right person?
No, in terms of like what can they do at the end moment if they want somebody's help or somebody has done a wrong makeup or wrong look on them? What do they do in such situations?
See, if you're in Chandigarh, you call me. Simple.
Yes.
I'll be there to fix it. If you're in any other part of the world, the ways to fix yourself, first of all, always have a backup makeup kit handy, which just the basic products. Any artist who you will work with will be able to tell you that, okay, keep 4 or 5 of these products handy. Many a times, without our mistake, things happen. The makeup melts off or the skin is, getting, reacting in such a way that we did not anticipate. So in order for this not to happen, you always have a backup kit. Now, I have a list, again, the OCD bit. So I have a list for these things and that I address to the bridesmaids. So I take numbers from my brides of their bridesmaids and friends, and I send that list to all of them.
Oh.
So you make sure that the bride has a safety pin, a this, a that, a mobile charger, some cash, something, anything that you may need. So I already tell them that this is the kit you need to keep in handy for this. Last minute में बहुत सारी चीजें हो सकती है. See, you cannot account for everything that could possibly go wrong. But most of the times, best is to hire a professional who anticipates these possibility of these things happening and guides you alongside.
That's
so
important.
that's the best way that you can ensure that you have a smooth function, is to hire a professional who's gone through all of this.
Okay, so there are a few, value-based questions that people tend to have a doubt of. And, when I sat with my friends and team, when I discussed about this podcast, they said these are a few must-have questions that I should have from their side for you.
Okay.
So, one thing that people always ask to their makeup artist is for trials. And sometimes the artist denies.
Yes.
What should we make out of this situation if they deny to the trials?
See, many reasons. An artist can deny a trial to you because of lack of time.
Okay.
An artist can deny a trial to you because, they don't get the kind of amount, or, if it's a paid trial, then maybe they've not charged enough for the trial. So we feel a little less motivated to give you a trial.
But people ask for free trials also. Do you think that's fair?
No, absolutely not.
You're against it.
My time is valuable. I am putting products. Yes, the products may not cost that much, but it's my time. It's my effort. People expecting full face trials for free is like, ordering a pizza and getting 4 free at Domino's. Like, you have to pay
I
for
like
my
the way
work.
you put
You
it.
have to give me my time's worth. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Right? So asking for trials for free, maybe amateur makeup artists, the ones who are coming into the industry, can do that. But any professional worth their salt is not going to give you a free trial.
Okay. Second question that people asked me, that a lot of times when you're reaching out a celebrity makeup artist, they tend to push the project, or at the date of the event, their assistant or somebody who's junior
Yeah,
comes
I've
to
heard
the
that.
event, and when they've paid for that main celebrity
Yes,
artist, what do they do in that situation?
Well, I have in the last 4-5 years, I have heard these really, really bizarre things happening, that a bride gets cancelled on the last minute by the senior, like the main artist, and she sends a junior artist, and also lets the bride know that right now, I am getting a bride who's paying me 30,000 more. So if you can give me 40, I will come to the venue and do your makeup.
God.
And I have not heard this from anywhere else. I've heard it from the brides. Their friends have gone through it. Their relatives have gone through it. Some of them went through that with their sister's wedding. So these are the things. Most of the time, people will, some of the artists are going to cancel on you last minute. So a bride asked me कि मैम फिर ऐसा तो नहीं होगा कि आप last में नहीं आओगे? I was like,
ऐसा कहाँ होता है?
हाँ,
You
मतलब,
were-
yeah, and I was like कि ऐसा क्यों होगा? नहीं ma'am, this happened with my friend, blah, 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 blah. She named the artist and I was disappointed because I admire the artist. So I just simply told her one thing, that unless I am on my deathbed, I will be there.
No.
Simple.
God, how that's very overwhelming to hear.
A commitment is a commitment.
Commitment is
Yes,
commitment.
absolutely. I've had to miss my daughter's tournaments, her gold medal ceremony, because I had committed for a bride, and that's what it is. So in the break, I caught another the live video pe maine dekha and everything. You don't want to miss those, but at the same time, if you've committed to somebody, then you have to deliver.
Right.
No questions asked.
Okay.
I have a team of artists. I have a team of assistants. I could send them. But no, as a matter of principle, I will never.
Your ethics are very clear.
Very clear. I'm very old school.
I mean, it's good. For professionalism, it's very
Yes,
good
it
to
is.
be old school.
Yes. Never have I come across any client who's ever come to me and said Tanvi has not delivered what she promised.
And that's what your work tells
Yes,
it, right?
absolutely.
Yeah. Another very fascinating question that people asked me to ask you is that anybody who's planning to be a makeup artist today, if 10 years down the line, what is the income that they can expect in a month?
If 10 years down the line,
Yeah.
I think with a lot of professionalism coming into the industry, you can safely assume to have minimum 6 to 7 lakhs a month if you're doing well. Yeah, why
Oh.
not?
Wow. I
Yeah.
think the glorification of this industry is really helping people.
Yeah, but then you have to reach that particular level where you demand your money, where you demand your hours, and where you put. And I'm talking about somebody who works morning and evening shifts.
Yeah.
So it's hard work, but it's rewarding as well
Mm,
if you've reached that particular stage.
mm. Okay. Another question is, what differentiates between a makeup artist and a celebrity makeup artist? What is the true definition to it?
The only definition that differentiates is that the celebrity makeup artist has got the opportunity to work on a celebrity,
It's
and the
pretty
makeup
literal.
artist has probably not yet got the opportunity to work on a celebrity, and that is it.
And that doesn't mean that they're not good.
Of course not.
Right.
Of course not. I was blessed. I got a couple of celebrities to work with. If I hadn't, I would still be a makeup artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mama, you ready for a rapid fire round?
Sure, anytime.
Okay. One makeup principle you will never compromise on.
Makeup principle,
Yeah.
hygiene,
Wow. A trend that looks appealing online but lacks longevity.
baking,
Okay. Minimal elegance or statement glamour. What defines you?
statement elegance.
Okay. Okay. A client moment that stayed with you emotionally.
Once a client called me to ask for my dates so that she could go back to Panditji and check whether the muhurat, our makeup artist is available on this date. तो इस दिन का मुहूर्त निकालिए.
Oh God. Wow. Okay. Visibility or loyalty. What defines true success?
Loyalty.
I expected this.
Yes.
One trait every successful artist must possess.
Compassion.
100%. Be it any field.
Absolutely.
Early struggle or present day pressure, which is more demanding.
None if you love your job.
One word your clients consistently associate with you.
Yeah, according to my reviews, they refer to it as amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
A misconception about the industry you wish to correct.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. The legacy you want to leave behind.
The girl who created the most flawless natural looks.
Oh, wow. So sweet. I mean, that's it from my end, ma'am. I would only say that how beautifully and how filter free all of your answers were.
Thank you.
None of it
I
was
hope I'm
sugar-
not getting in trouble for the filter free. And so is my makeup pictures on Instagram. They're
Okay.
always filter free.
I guess I've got the title of your podcast, a filter free
Absolutely.
filter free literally also in our work.
Literally.
Literally. And thank you so much for it came so out of your heart and soul and
Thank you.
purely out of your work and passion.
Thank you so much.
I think you're the most passionate guest I've ever had on my show.
Oh, thank you. A lot of it depends on the one who's asking the questions.
Oh,
so
that's
kudos
so
to you
sweet.
as well.
Thank you so much for coming to
Thank
Mike Pe Milenge. Thank you so much for agreeing to come to my show.
No, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
My pleasure.
So, guys, if you have any doubts to whatever our guest told us today, do comment below. If you have any doubts, we would love to take them. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this episode. Do like, share, and subscribe. That's it for Mike Pe Milenge today. Thank you.